Hey everyone, Dan here. We are doing Power Hour on Tuesday, August 3rd. We're going to do episode 2 of our $100 trading account video. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. And also keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your own decisions based on that. All right, so if you didn't watch episode 1, go back to that and 2x your way through it, meaning speed it up 2x on YouTube. But you'll find there I was looking for a shares position as well as an options position, and realized that because I had deposited today, Webull's not letting me trade options with that until it completes the deposit. So it'll be something like toward the end of this week or maybe next Monday. But anyway, here's my position that I took earlier today. I took about a $30 position. I took 10 shares at 312, and that's doing pretty well so far. I mean, it's just up like $1 something, but it's a $100 account, and that's a $30 position. So what I'm looking at right now is I'd rather not blow a day trade on this if I don't have to, because I also took this position thinking that the stock could have short squeeze potential, and I went through it in that video why. But if it comes down and can't hold this 318, I might look to close it out. The only thing that would kind of make me buckle on that would be this 200 MA is coming in quite strongly and could align with that. So I'm hoping we get a big bounce off of that. And the RSI is getting very, very low. So that might give us some additional lift here. But I want to keep an eye on this one to figure out if I'm going to close it or if I'm going to hold it overnight. To me, these small accounts, the biggest danger is the holding overnight, because you're subject to PDT, so you just kind of don't have an option. And but the one saving grace here is until I can buy options, I am just trading shares. So where an option could certainly go to 0 or very, very close to 0 overnight, these shares won't. It could be a pretty bad loss, but that you can always recover from. But anyway, I'm looking for additional positions now because I do have about $65, $70 just kind of sitting on the sidelines. And we were talking in the last video about earnings plays and looking for earnings that were about a week or so out in order to play the run up to earnings. But because I can't do that with options, what I was thinking I might do, and I just need to look at the tickers, and I figured I'd take you through this with me so you could kind of see how I look for these things and then how I decide whether or not I'm going to take a position, is look and see who has earnings tomorrow or even Thursday at the latest, and see if there's any plays that I want to get into there in order to take advantage of a potential run off of earnings. Now, yeah, it could like get beat up and get crushed even on good earnings, but this is all taking a calculated risk, and you're not going to win every trade. So just keep in mind that there's going to be wins and losses, and sometimes you just have to take a chance. All right, but something like these, to me, these are interesting, and this is going to be the opposite of what I said in the options video, and I can talk about why when I get the options trading available. But something like this would be potentially interesting to me. GM expected to have something around 73, 74% growth. And so that's a big expectation, right? Same thing down here. I don't know these companies. And for me, that's fine. For options, because the risk is can be so outsized, I really like to know the company, and I really like to be familiar with the chart. With shares, I don't really care as much because I can get in and out of positions quicker, and with less risk overall to really like blowing up the account. But GM with a big expectation, my question right now would be, is there a big pre-anticipatory run-up or not? So let's take a look at GM and see what's been going on. All right, so not a ton, but what I want to look at is like the last 5 days at least. Okay, so we've run up from 54. Okay, pulled back a little bit. All right, it's not my favorite setup. I would have liked to see it even more sideways. Okay, though, if we pull back like a month, this might look relatively sideways. Okay, so this is, over the course of a month, relatively down / sideways. It also might kind of be, let me get us some space here It might be kind of in this channel here, which could mean nothing because of earnings, but let's see. It might be like a bit of a channel here-ish forming. This might even, stretch down a little bit more, but okay, so there's that. This could have potential, I think. Let me pop back out to the 1 month here and see what's going on. Okay, so several higher highs. Yeah, so it was caught under this downtrend. Okay. This could be pretty interesting. What I'm looking for here is potential, right? This is all potential. The expectations are very high for a strong earnings report. And so what I want to see is that the potential is there. Now, of course, they'll have to deliver on that, and that means that they're going to have to really kind of have an exceptional report in order to make things run. But crazier things have happened. So it was down under this downtrend, and it popped out and then fell back in, and it really just pushed off of this downtrend at the end of July. So really just a few days ago. Really pushed off of it on like the 28th, 27th, 28th. It pushed off of it and is trying to establish in this channel more or less. So this to me has strong potential, because if there is any credence to this expectation, it's had a bit of a run up since it did push off. It was down around, say, 54. Now it's up close to 58. So yeah, that's a decent run up. But if you look at the overall context, I mean, it was beaten down quite a bit since early to mid June. And so, it taking that much of a beating, there might be a lot of meat on the bone if there is even just a meeting of expectations for these earnings. So that, to me, has some potential. To me, like CVS 7.3, it's just not enough of a mover. Let's see what this EXPI, and also keep in mind, GM, this would basically, I could just grab this position because I only have, around this amount of money, maybe just a few dollars more. So I would just be able to grab one share, but that's fine. One thing I think people get too short-sighted about or just misunderstand is this is looking pretty nice actually, is they kind of think, okay, I need to buy cheaper shares if I have a smaller account, but that's not the case. You're looking for the best percentage return, and as long as you're getting a good percentage return, it doesn't matter if I have 10 shares of a thing that goes up 20%, or I have one share of a thing that goes up 20%, I still went up 20%. The only way in which it really helps you is that you can trim your position. So for example, like if this price were to double, for example, then I could take just 5 shares off the table and know that I've made back all of my money. And then I'm playing with just, like, I can't lose on the trade, right? So, yeah, there is some truth to that you can trim, but don't get super fixated on, I can only buy one share of this, so I shouldn't. If that one share has a potential for a good percentage return, then in my opinion, that should be sort of free reign, or should be like in the realm of possibility. What are we doing on the MAs here? And then we'll go back. This is just what I do. Like, I'm doing this in these videos because this is just what I do when I'm searching for positions. I have a position. This gives me time to not fixate on it as much. And I'm watching the minute chart, and that's already can be sort of nerve-wracking enough. So to give yourself something else to do, to draw your attention away while the play kind of evolves, to me, that's very, very valuable, because then you don't just sit there and stay fixated relentlessly and make stupid decisions. EXPI, let's see what that's, because I can't have a stock whose price point is too high. Okay, this is within the realm. Oh, this is a mess though. What is this? Is this really low volume, or what's the deal here? Let me see. Oh yeah, like 500,000, 750,000. Okay, it's just not really my thing. Like very low volume stocks. Maybe someday I'll make the shift and think about getting into it, but it's just not my thing. The chart, I rely too much on the charts. So MPC coming up quite a bit. Interesting. The way in which this could potentially work, and I could buy one share of this too, is, let me see how the fib looks on this. to here. Did this retrace into a level that makes sense or what? So it came down to 236, popped back up. So what's that look like? Came here to here. And let me put this in a color where I can see it. And now it's 100%. I don't love it. I do not love it. Let me look for one other thing. Look at my fib extension level. So if I say that we had a gap up and a 1 and a retracement, and we popped up to the 50. No, I do not super love it. Okay, so I'm going to pass on that. Just look at the 5-day for the heck of it. Yeah, I mean, if it didn't have this much of an update today, I'd maybe consider it if it could pop on meeting these expectations. But to me, I think GM looks like a better setup just from the beating that it's taken. Let's see who else is coming up here. Clovis is heavily shorted, I know that, but I'm going to kind of stay away from that at the moment. What's this? 80%. Okay. MTOR, let's see what that is. Low volume. This is a low volume thing. Come on, Webull, with your dragging thing. Drives me nuts. Volume, yeah. Don't love the low volume. Okay. All right. What is this? URGN. Is that for real? URGN. Okay, they're coming down, but this is another low volume. Okay. All right. So that's for tomorrow. GM looking potentially promising. What's this puppy? Almost 1 million. Okay, trades a little over 1 million. Though that's pretty extended. Let's see what the 3 months look like. Oh, not compared to that, it's not extended. Interesting. Expecting 300%. Interesting. And a nice double bottom down here. Dangerously close to this topping out. So there's a big gap up here. Does it have a history of filling gaps? Not really. Okay. No, definitely not a gap filler. So that gap doesn't matter. Interesting. Pretty big beat down there. I would leave it a solid, what, 20% upside or so? Okay. This one could be interesting. So this one or GM is basically what I'm looking at. Though I guess we could see Friday, but see the advantage to playing this overnight is that I won't lose a day trade, right? So I could sell it tomorrow and I would have taken the position late in the day. Yeah, see there's some good ones coming up on Thursday, several that I'm familiar with. And so I'd like to kind of rinse and repeat, try to play that again. So either try to recoup some losses if this goes against me tomorrow, or continue to roll it up. Yeah, I mean this volume is so much better. 10. Okay. Let me look at this one more time. Let's see what this lines up with. Let me get this out of the way. Let me also look at some of the indicators here. See what we have going on. All right, so we got this big topping out here. All right, topping out the last several days. Previous to that. Oh yeah, it's a really strong zone. All this previous support, previous resistance before that. All right, so it's sort of at a very, difficult zone for me. And even when it breached, it got sucked back down into it. Not so dissimilar from what we saw here. Testing, reached over, topped, had to do a reach again. I mean, several times, just attempting, keeps getting drawn down to it. Then had a big push off. Interesting. Could history repeat itself here is the question. And if so, is there more upside really than with GM? That's the question I have. I know we're 15 minutes in, but you guys should watch this on 2x the speed if this is super slow to you. But this is just literally how I digest these things in real time. So you're just getting the real-time version of this, not the, hey, I'm making a video, so I gotta, I don't know, do a different voice or go a different speed. To me, the purpose of this is to kind of show, I don't know, oh boy, the making of the donuts or whatever they call it. Wow, look at that. Got some pushback there. Look at this, crazy MACD. Green going all right, and then it was just vroom. Okay. What's happening? Plummet. MA, okay, the 200 as expected, trying to catch. That's what I was talking about. Now can it catch? Or I'd really like to preserve a day trade. Because I picked this up. I picked up these shares fairly late in the day. So picking them up late in the day, the whole point is to try to not ride something through the entire day and overnight. But it's still dangerous even picking it up late in the day to ride it overnight. Okay. Wow, I need to make a decision between these two, huh? Well, the advantage to SSRM is kind of what I just talked about. I could pick up 2 shares of it. It's a little less of an overall risk, and I could trim if the trade does go my way. It's hard to tell if this topping out is like if all of the selling pressure has been exhausted there or not. That's the question. We are in a fully bullish formation on the 1 hour though. What's the daily look like? Daily's fully bearish formation, but a nice bullish crossover. And the RSI potentially holding the midline relatively well. Question is though, can it really jump up with kind of limited volume? That's, that I'm not sure on. SSRM. Kind of leaning this way at the moment. I mean, if it really meets that expectation, I mean, that's nutty. That's nutty world. But the question is, if GM meets its expectation, is that going to be seen as just as solid? Wait a minute. Can I take one of each of these? Do I have enough? $68. No. I think I'm going to be just short. Right? 16 and 57. Oh, I'm quite a bit short. All right. So I need to make a decision here, huh? I don't know. This is looking kind of strong at the moment. Going strong into close. Okay. GM going pretty strong into close. Doggone it. This is the question. All right. We're coming to the last 10 minutes of the day here, so I need to make a decision. Look at the last few points here. Okay. Well, I think I'm going to have to come back and look at both of these tomorrow regardless, because I'm going to be wondering what I missed out on, of course, right? But you need to not beat yourself up with these things. Just make the best move you can. All right, middle of the channel here. This one doesn't really have a channel, but it's peaking that doggone supply zone again. Again. And my question is, if it blows through that supply zone, because it's knocked on that door so many times, like, does it really just have a ton of opportunity to run because it's already consumed all of the sell pressure there? All right, I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to put in a market buy. This is the correct thing, right? This is our mining. Yeah. Small revenues, though. I don't have a great history with mining companies. I have a better history with car companies. But let's give it a roll and see what happens. All right. It's just shares. It's just shares. All right. 1641. We're in. We'll see what happens. Okie dokie. All right. Well, that's where I am. Oh, let me see if I'm going to close this out today. I need to make a decision right now, I think. Because I don't want to just sit here and watch the 1 minute chart all day. That's not how I like to trade. Okay, so we're really sitting on this 318 zone, which could, if we can just stay sideways, could drive us into the bottom of that channel. How's this channel looking anyway? I guess that's part of the question here. Channel's looking pretty solid, but it's a, it's only lasted a day. So, And how is this XELA? Any update from our friends at Ortex on any change in? Okay, so shorts are peeling off a bit, which could indicate a squeeze coming. All right, I'm going to leave it. It's a risky one, but I'm going to leave it. We'll see what happens. All right, so for today, I've made a couple of trades, all in the afternoon. So my $100 account is just a few hours old, and we're up almost 1%. So that's just fine. I'm down on SSRM already. Come on, you. All right, but we have 60-something dollars in. So I guess I could have grabbed more SSRM, but I'll leave it. It's risky enough with earnings tomorrow. All right, so that's where we sit at the moment. Things will get really interesting when options comes in and the craziness that options will infuse into this. But that's where I am at the moment after just a couple of trades in the afternoon today. But we'll see what happens with this risky business of holding overnight. Oh, now I'm wondering, should I grab one more of these and average myself down a little bit? Should we do that? Should we grab a quick buy? So we're going to sell tomorrow and then get into another position anyway. It doesn't matter. I mean, I'll lose a bit more of, this whatever. But so it goes. All right, grab one more. Okay. So now we're looking like that. And still could have grabbed one more, but that's all right. Leave that for tomorrow. But I think with these, I just want to be getting in 2 or 3 positions at the most. It's enough to keep track of, and I don't want to drive myself nutty with it. I think the more complexity you add into it, the more room for craziness and panic and things like that. And I just know myself well enough to know that I should keep my trading amount, meaning the amount of stocks that I'm trading at any given time, to a minimum, while also trying not to over risk my entire account. But again, with shares, I don't worry about that too much. All right, well, I hope you had a good trading day, and I appreciate you watching, and I anticipate that we'll have episode 3 and maybe also episode 4 tomorrow. Who knows? But, you know, I'm looking forward to this. This should be fun. I'm interested to see where we can get this to and in what time frame. All right, I will see you in the next video.